Afrocentric and multilateral is how political analysts characterize the White House's strategy towards Africa. The U.S. strategy for sub-Saharan Africa, as it is called, emphasizes the role of the private sector in economic development, in health, infrastructure, finance, clean energy, climate change, and education. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken unveiled the new strategy at the University of Pretoria in South Africa back in August.
What we seek most of all is a true partnership between the United States and Africa. We don't want an imbalanced or transactional relationship.
Bob Wekesa is the Deputy Director at the African Center for the Study of the United States at the University of Witwatersrand in Johannesburg.
The re-engagement with the African continent is quite robust compared to the Trump administration.
Proof of this robust engagement with the continent is the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit taking place this week in Washington. But what are the outcomes that Africans are looking to achieve?
Africans are likely to arrive there with a major economic agenda. Africa needs lots of infrastructure development. It's one of the least connected continents in the world, even just in terms of road, rail, and seaports. Not talking about other forms of communication such as digital infrastructure, information and communication technologies.
China has been very effective in spearheading major infrastructure projects in a number of African countries. And that raises the issue of whether the United States can compete effectively.
I think the U.S. can compete, and its failure to compete at this point in time has largely been lack of strategy.
This time, the United States intends to promote co-financing of the private sector in energy, health, and digital connectivity.
Even when the U.S. government gets involved in trade and economics relations with the African continent, it lets its private sector be in the driver's seat. So I think the U.S. government is likely to pursue an agenda in which there's a conducive environment for American businesses to thrive on the African continent.
Another issue that African leaders are interested in renegotiating is the African Growth and Opportunity Act, started by the Bush administration in 2001. But this time, African leaders want to be at the negotiating table.
The Africans are saying AGOA was passed by Congress unilaterally without really involvement of Africans on the discussion, the negotiation table. Any new arrangement between Africa and the U.S. should factor in African interests, particularly those that are led by the African Union.
Analysts and Africa's leaders are welcoming this effort of re-engagement between the United States and the continent. Zoe Leoudaki, VOA News, Washington.